Well, hello my beautiful Sagittarians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Sagittarians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what's going on with you right now, how you're moving through this time period, and of course what lies on the other side. Now, I don't know if you noticed the Gaia chimes when I was holding them. When we got to this deck, there was a very quiet stillness, a reflection, almost to the point of being stationary. So some of you, I get this energy from the Gaia chimes that perhaps you feel like you've been laying dormant for a little while. There's this energy of reawakening coming from the Gaia chimes there. I'm going to tap in to see what comes out in your cards, but it's something that I felt in the energy. Some of you may have felt that life has become somehow very still, but that's inside, even though outside there's a flurry of activity, and you may feel that life is like a mile a minute. Time is flying by so fast, but inside there is this energy of quiet reflection, of stillness, of being in one spot and being very thoughtful or reflective about what's going on around you. So that just came out there, so perhaps it's something someone's going on with right now, but perhaps, you know, it may not resonate with everyone. I have to honor the energy that comes out. But let's get straight to your cards and see what is coming out for you, okay? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Sagittarians? What do they need to know at this time? Can you please show them the way? We have the Hermit, yes. This quiet period of learning more about oneself, almost feeling like things are standing still, or you feel withdrawn in some way from something, or even from people. Isolated for some of you. I will get into that energy in a moment. We have an Ace of Wands. That's the reignition of like that spark. So some of you, well, the Hermit and the Ace of Wands in a crossing position can indicate that you're exhausted, okay? Life has been hard and you need to recharge your batteries. But also I feel like you're learning about what you're capable of, and you're someone who's an old soul. You know, I always say that Sagittarius, of course, the root word of Sagittarius is sage. So you've come to this lifetime with a lot of knowledge, but that knowledge can almost be a blessing and a curse because, you know, you can see through people's BS. You can see motivations behind the scenes. You are someone who has a lot of depth to you. You're a very sensitive person. And we also have that Chariot energy. As I said, there's this like flurry of activity outside of oneself. The Chariot card is a very fast-paced energy, but inside, as I said, there's this stillness. So that's what I was picking up straight away, and the cards are popping out there to reflect that. So I will pick up every card individually as I come to it. We have a Six of Pentacles. It's in the past position. You may have felt that things were more balanced in the past. You may have felt a stronger foundation in the past. There may have been more stability. I feel there's an energy here as well of sharing time with people, or finding that time spent in group activity was more rewarding than it somehow feels like now. Some of you, especially with that Hermit, and this may not resonate with everyone, but I have to honor the cards that have popped out. I'm not choosing them for you. You know, for some of you, you may feel that somehow everything has changed and there's a removal of energy, and it feels like somehow it's like you're on the outside looking in, as it were. For some of you, that's maybe how you're feeling. Oh my gosh, the outside looking in. Look at that card. We've got the window. So a lot of soul searching going on here, but it's like you being on the outside looking in, or feeling somehow that you're searching for comfort in some area of your life, and you're learning to love yourself first. There's a withdrawal, almost like a spiritual awakening going on here. And, you know, the Hermit energy is the start. It's the foundation. It indicates some of you have been either operating off-grid, or your nature of your friendships have been evolving. My gosh, is this a 3? Yeah. Nature of relationships. 3s tend to be about groups of people or group activity. So that's something that's coming out there very strongly. We have snakes there as well on that 3 of Pentacles. So this can be, you know, some of your friendships have been evolving and you may have been withdrawn. But I do see that in the future, if you're searching for your soul tribe, or if you are trying to work out what's gone on in a relationship or a friendship, or even in a family dynamic, you know, it can be that there's healing in the future, because the 3 of Pentacles is to come together. But a lot of you, this is you just like focusing on your plans at this time. And of course, these are things outside of yourself to some degree. We have that 10 of Swords. You have a lot on your mind, a lot on your to-do list. And a lot of you are like mentally completely exhausted. And this can be like the influence that's going on right now, the world at large. There's a lot going on, and it can indicate that, you know, there's always something to be mindful of. And it can be that, you know, you're trying to protect yourself, your home, your family. You know, you've got a Hangman there as well. And in the water, I wish you could see what I can see right now. I'm seeing a person navigating a parachute. You know, the person has already pulled the parachute. I'm not sure, did this come up for you before in a reading? I remember a parachute coming out as an image in a reading before, and it may have been for your sign. What I'm seeing is this energy of like a person navigating the parachute. So it's almost like there's a goal, or there's something to be aimed for. It's almost like a guidance system. This could be a personal, you know, internal compass that you're dealing with right now, that guidance system, guiding yourself towards a certain destination or a goal, because you're very goal-oriented, or you're focused on your plans with that 3 of Pentacles. But it can also indicate with that Hangman that somehow you feel like you're drifting, if that makes sense. It's like you're busy because you've got that Chariot card, but somehow it feels like things that you used to connect to before hit different in some way. And you feel, for some of you, that Hangman, the sacrifices you're making now, of course, they will benefit you in the future, but you may have felt like your world got turned upside down in some way, or something shifted, something has changed, and you're trying to navigate your way back to it, or navigate your way back to self, perhaps, because there is this spark, this awakening within you. We have that Ace of Pentacles and we have a Page of Wands. Yeah, navigating your way back to self. Page of Wands is a Sagittarian card. It is the curious wanderer of the deck, and that's you, my beautiful Sagittarian. So a lot of you, it can be that you're trying to reignite that passion. You're someone who's a fire element. You are passionate. You are someone who is, you know, spontaneous and excitable and ambitious and free-spirited. But again, I mean, it keeps coming up in the readings. So perhaps some of you are dealing with this. You may have felt like your wings have been clipped by responsibility or the seriousness of life, or you just feel like you are having intrusive thoughts at this time that are tearing you down, or you have a lot on your mind. And it's like, how do I get back to me? How do I rediscover that part of me that I feel somehow has evolved? Some of you may have been going through a very monumental period in your life. Like a shift, a bodily shift even. And it can be that your body is changing or your mindset is changing, or it just feels like you are wanting to be free from something. Okay, maybe that's what the parachute is about. It's about an elevated viewpoint. I mean, the parachute, what I saw in the water came out because I'm clairaudient and, you know, I see visuals as well with clairvoyance and scrying, and you know, it came out in the water when the hangman showed up. And the hangman is to get a higher perspective. It is to see the bigger picture, as it were. So a lot of you, you are going through a major spiritual breakthrough. No matter what you're going through in life, I feel a lot of you are quietly reflective. I mean, this is the Hermit card. It is your foundation card, okay? And it means this is something that perhaps you're going through right now. You may have felt withdrawn or a need for solitude there. It can be that, you know, you want to get something done for yourself, whether it's like a creative project or your plans, and it may be that you have to withdraw from group activity for a while in order to honor that. But ultimately, this is a soul-searching card. You know, this is you quietly reflecting on all the lessons that you've received in life, and it can indicate as well that you're on a journey. A lot of you may be called to do meditation at this time. You're thinking, reflecting, there's inner wisdom. You're trying to like rediscover self, as it were, or come home to self. It says here, contemplation, solitude, and insight. So a lot of you are learning. And this is the soul-searching card, so you're learning about self. But it can be that you're learning about relationships, about people, what they're capable of giving to friendships, and what you've been giving to friendships. You may be trying to find reciprocity in that, especially if you're noticing, you know, you've got a Six of Pentacles to a Three of Pentacles here. It can be that you're witnessing like social circles kind of get smaller and smaller. And when you start to mature, because the Hermit card is a maturity card, you'll notice that friendships fall away. They evolve. You evolve away from people as well, because you are living your authentic truth. And some people, they will not enter into a spiritual awakening like you've been going through at the same time as you. And some may never enter it at all. And, you know, that can be disappointing, because the Ace of Wands in the crossing position, it can be a rejection or a withdrawal, or it can be, you know, some indication that there is no alignment with you and a person. You just don't feel the same way anymore, or you're not interested in the same things anymore, and that's fine. But when it starts to feel like, oh, there's distance, it doesn't feel the same as it used to. Sometimes we drift away from people or things, you know, activities, hobbies, you know, we outgrow as we move forward on our path. And a lot of you could be outgrowing something at this time. And with this Hermit energy, I feel this is about you honoring who you are and who gets access to you, because that door is firmly shut. So a lot of you could be like, nope, I'm in Hermit mode right now. I do not want any distractions, or, you know, you need to be focused on something, and, you know, you're not receiving visitors at this time. It just feels like this energy of you going, okay, I'm going solo on something. Some of you could be deciding to travel solo, or it could be that, you know, because we have that Three of Pentacles, you're searching for your soul tribe. You feel isolated. You know, when you think about the Hermit, you know, the nature of a hermit is to withdraw from society, or is to leave the city and go somewhere quieter, you know, because they feel like they don't fit in. The values, the belief system, the life philosophy, it just doesn't fit anymore. You want different things. So it can be that you are removing yourself from things that just don't align with your higher purpose or your sense of truth. I definitely see here you're being your wonderful, authentic self. But also, I feel with the Hermit energy, especially with the Ace of Wands, because it's in the upright position, but it's also in the reverse position because it's in a crossing position on the Celtic cross. So this can indicate some of you are either disappointed by somebody or something, or have been let down by somebody or something, maybe an opportunity. You may feel rejected and you have withdrawn in order to think about the next steps on your plan, how to factor things in. But it is also an energy card. So it can indicate that some of you, your energy is fluctuating. You feel exhausted in your body. You're absorbing a lot of energy and information. And it can be that, life is hard. It is a challenge. And especially since we're going through very volatile times in humanity across the globe right now. I mean, it's always been very intense, but the last couple of years, it ramped up that level of craziness. And it can feel like somehow you are like seeing things in a different way, or you just don't fit, or it just feels like you are seeking comfort in other things that bring you joy right now. And there may be a part lament, as it were, of the old part of yourself, where you spent a lot of time in crowds or groups activity, or, sharing a lot of yourself, because the Six of Pentacles is to share. And it's opposing at Three of Pentacles, which means you share a lot of yourself in group activity or in groups of people, your family, your friends. But with that Hermit energy, it's like I'm not sharing myself with anybody who does not align right now with what I'm about, or you're exhausted of sharing yourself because it's a lot. So a lot of you are withdrawing at this time. You may feel compelled to look at property in areas that are more in nature, for example, or you may feel more of an affinity with animals right now because you're just in this, I want to say, rite of passage period. But it says here creation, willpower, and inspiration. And some of you may feel that even though you're locked onto your goals and your plans, because with that Three of Pentacles, it can indicate, of course, that you're engineering a plan or that you have a project in motion that will transform your life in some way. It could even be a personal project. It can be, for example, that if it's a personal project, you want to change yourself, body, mind, and soul, you could be connected to somebody who kind of tempts you back into old ways. So you may remove yourself from those group activities or those people, because even though you care about these people and you're like, okay, we get on really well and I love spending time, but not too much because I don't want to fall back into a pattern or a cycle of repeat. You want to honor your boundaries and you want to make sure that you love yourself more or have more respect for yourself and how you're conducting your life at this moment in time. Because I feel like you're exhausted with some way of doing something or accepting something. And of course, if you don't change it, you accept it. So I feel a lot of you are like, it's time to change. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. But also it can be that some of you, you're exhausted and unmotivated, or it can be that you try so hard in life in general and life just keeps moving those goalposts and you're like, it's exhausting. You're fed up of having to restart or acknowledge that you have to just be flexible with the changes, because this is the beginning of something. And this can be like letting go of something. So there is this energy of wanting adventure, wanting to go out there and do something new. And I definitely see here you're going to explore your options. But some of you could be sitting on the fence on something right now because you're trying to get clear with answers if this is the right direction for you. And, I feel a lot of you, there's this energy of wanting a breakthrough or needing a breakthrough on something because it's exhausting. So I feel like your breakthrough is coming and the universe is going to align you with something where you are energized and inspired. I mean, some of you with that Hermit, you could actually go to a practitioner who is very knowledgeable about their field and identify why your energy levels have been fluctuating. So it could be looking at the Queen of Cups there. There's an energy here about hormones when you have the Queen of Cups. Three of Pentacles can also be like grounding energy. There could be something with that Ten of Swords that is connected to environment, like mindset, but also like energy around you. Okay, whether this is you picking up on other people's energy or whether this is like technology, you know, there could be something there. So please explore it with someone who is qualified to give you advice on stuff like that, because I'm not a qualified practitioner, of course. But because we have an energy card with that Ace of Wands and it is in the crossing position, some of you could identify either, you know, a vitamin deficiency. I'm not really seeing that here, to be honest. More than anything, I'm seeing like an external environment, but also perhaps hydration, but also something hormonal related there as well. I feel like you will come back into balance. That's the plan with that Six of Pentacles. So if it is something that you are noticing within yourself at this time, I feel that you will be back to best. Page of Wands, that spark returns. You know, you feel more like yourself than you have done in a while. As you can see there, these two cats there, they're kind of like facing each other, but they're not looking at each other. You know, it's almost like a mirrored energy. So perhaps when you're looking in the mirror, you're like not quite seeing you, or you feel something about you has changed. There's something there about that, but I feel this is about you coming back to best and rediscovering yourself, because these two, obviously they're cats, BASTET there, they are actually looking at each other. And we've got two cats here as well. I mean, with so many cats coming out in your reading, this is a quest for independence as well. The Hermit can be to withdraw, to get some peace and quiet, but also it can be to be more independent, to go off and do things on your own, things that you're excited about, passionate things. You know, life can get super busy and we can find that we have no time. We're constantly rejecting things that perhaps we really want to do over there, projects or creative activities or hobbies. And with the Chariot card there, it can indicate that you are at capacity. You're pushed and pulled in many different directions. You're busy. You're juggling things. There's a lot of multitasking going on. You know, for some of you with that Chariot card, it can feel that you're having to navigate so many changes. There's always a plot twist going on right now, and you're just seeking grounding or a base, or you just want to know where you're at with so much change going on in the world around you. And, you know, we've got self-control, discipline, and success. I mean, the Chariot card is a card of success, and it actually is on the earthly plane for you. So the Chariot card can indicate that you're trying to do something, you're trying to reach for something right now, and, you know, you will be successful. And a lot of you have already created a lot of success in your life. This is the foundation for you to springboard on. It can indicate that you've hit a certain level in your life and now you're withdrawing in order to think about the next steps on your plan, because it doesn't really stop there. There's more to this. And I feel this is about you in a very explorative time where, you know, it can be that you're uncertain about how the next steps will go, but I can see it's going to be very successful for you. There is some sort of investment in your future. A lot of you are trying to manage a new start because you have two aces here. For some of you, this could also be that you tried to start something new, but there was like a false start, or it didn't quite go the way you had imagined it, or there was a delay on something, but now it's becoming a reality, whatever this is. The dream is becoming the reality. And the Chariot card indicates that you're secure enough to explore, and things could go in any direction, but you're in command of the direction. You know, the Chariot card can also indicate that, you know, you have been pulled and pushed in many different directions, but you are moving forward and you are having some sort of personal victory at this time. But this is about rediscovering your passion, your drive, and, you know, leaving the old behind in some way. Now, of course, we do have a Six of Pentacles to a Three of Pentacles, so some of you could be like looking at finances. Pentacles are all about material things, so it can be that for some of you, there is this energy of acknowledging that things don't bring happiness. Material things do not bring happiness. It bides time and security. Of course, it gives you that plateau where you can feel financially stable. But ultimately, happiness is from within. You have to have that sense of purpose and passion, of course. So some of you, there could be this like worldly knowingness about you, that happiness of course comes from within, and you are rediscovering what makes you happy at this time. And of course there is acquired wealth along the way, and I feel something that you did in your past where you were charitable, you did good favor for somebody, is distributed with good karma. So I feel there is something being sent to you that will change you financially. Okay, and it's something that you did many, many years ago is what I'm seeing. And, you know, that boomerang of karma is coming back around. There's some goodness coming in for you that helps you build financially or create stability in your life. But the Chariot card, especially with the Ace of Wands and the Hermit, it indicates some of you are trying to not become comfortable with change, but actually be flexible, be ready for every eventuality with that Chariot energy. And I mean, looking at the energy, some of you could be trying to move. You could be trying to relocate, or you could be trying to launch something or set up a plan or something. And, you know, it was either put on hold or it didn't evolve the way you thought it would, but it's going to be better. Whatever it is you're moving towards at this time, I feel like you're very organized. I feel like you're very structured and you know what you want this time. Sometimes the Hermit means you have to withdraw to think. And sometimes when there is a delay in life, we can get really frustrated and like, oh, you know, there's always a delay. I'm always waiting. Everything I want is always just out of reach. But sometimes the universe gives you a pause on purpose. Sometimes the thing that you want, it's wonderful, but long term, perhaps it's not going to be right for you. The universe can give you a pause so that you don't quite reach the thing that you think you want, because the universe wants to deliver better. You know, something with more solid grounding there. So some of you, there may be some new information that comes your way that informs you that the thing you thought you wanted with that Ace of Wands, because it can indicate something either feels like it let you down or it didn't go your way. It's almost like the universe says, I know a better way, or I know a better opportunity. And I want you to have that because, you know, you have such a good heart. You're someone who distributes goodness and you're fair and, you know, you're always looking out for other people. And the universe is saying, well, now I'm looking out for you. And you may have felt it's been a long time coming, but I definitely see here that there is some sort of reward. Now, again, these are things outside of yourself at this moment in time. So bringing it back, a lot of you may be looking at the nature of time with that Chariot energy. There's always something to go and do. You're always on the go. And, you know, it can be, especially with the Ten of Swords there, some of you, there is this energy of scattered thoughts. When you have so much to do, I feel like, yes, you got to be disciplined, but at the same time, I feel there's this energy of feeling overwhelmed mentally with something. So perhaps, you know, because we have a Three of Pentacles there and we have a Ten of Swords, it can be that you're looking at the way people communicate with you. You know, how they say certain things. It can be that you're dealing with a very difficult person or a difficult, like, group right now, and you're really just kind of walking away from this or removing yourself from something that has been challenging. I mean, a Ten of Swords can be that you feel let down or betrayed in some way, or, you know, you may feel that you've been very fair in a group activity or situation, but now you need to honor yourself. You need to take care of yourself and remove yourself from toxic relationships or toxic friendships or toxic environments, things that, you know, are not resonating with you. You may have put up with it for a certain period of time, but as you evolve, you're like, no, not dealing with this anymore. I've had enough, fed up. So some of you could be literally cutting ties with things that do not bring you joy or align you with your sense of purpose. So I feel a lot of you are going through this major shift right now. In the past position, we have that Six of Pentacles, so you may feel things were a little bit more balanced in the past, whether this is, you know, hormones or whether this is life, opportunity. I mean, some of you, I mean, there's no worry cards here. Okay, Ten of Swords can be that you have a lot on your mind, but when we have a Six of Pentacles and a Three of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles being in the past, some of you may feel you had more access to money in the past, or you may feel like economically your finances went a little bit further than they do now. You know, over the last couple of years, because of the big major event we all experienced 5 years ago, economically things have been very challenging. And it can be that, you know, inflation has been nibbling away at finances secretly. Prices of goods have been going up. And, you know, there's hidden inflation in a lot of things. So it could be that you're feeling the pinch, or you're just keeping your eye on it. You know, you could be diversifying what you're doing right now to have a plan B or a plan that complements what you're doing right now. And these just could be things that are on your mind. But I do feel a lot of you, there is this energy, especially since we have a Queen of Cups and a Queen of Swords here. It can be that you're distancing yourself from somebody that you helped out many, many times in your life, that you're always there for. They could come to you at any time during the day, because Six of Pentacles says, I'm here for you. I got you. I got this. I'll always be here to help. Okay? And it could be that you actually feel that something's changing here. You feel either they have been drifting away from you, or you've been drifting away from them, or you feel that they've let you down in some way. And I feel you're honoring your own needs. You still care about this person or this situation, whatever it is. It's going to be different for everybody. But the Queen of Swords is like, I need to protect myself. I need to stop overgiving. Whenever you look up the meanings of cards, Six of Pentacles can indicate that you're an overgiver, or you overgave to a situation, and now you're kind of addressing the balance a little bit more. You're not going to keep giving to a situation that constantly pushes you away, or rejects you, or leaves you out in the cold in some way. You're like, I'm done with that. So I feel a lot of you are calmly just removing yourself, quietly, even with that Hermit. It's like, really, like, you're just phasing yourself out from someone's life. I mean, for some of you, this could be that you're in a career right now and you're feeling, you know, that there's alternative opportunities here. Some of you with that Hermit, you could be thinking about going solo, or doing something that you're really passionate about and you're quietly quitting, for example. So please, again, as I said, apply it to your situation there. But the Queen of Cups, this is the potential position. And the Queen of Cups is someone who feels deeply, and you're a very sensitive person. So when I apply this to you, this can be with that Queen of Swords, that some of you may have felt like you're in fight or flight mode, or you've been on autopilot, you've just been doing, you've just been like somehow detached from sense of self. And now you're starting to feel these emotions as you withdraw and really tap into how you feel about things. That's when the answers start to arise, where you're like, okay, I feel like, you know, I'm numb, or, you know, there's been some stuff that went on and I just had to do what I had to do in the circumstances that I had. And now I'm reflecting on it. So with this, I feel this is a period of reflection. And of course, the window, for some of you, I'm being given this song. It's a very famous song, and it has come out before. It's Eminem's song, and maybe it even came out for your sign again. Maybe there's this like reemergence of a message here. I'm not sure, but I'll always honor it. If something comes in again, I have to honor it. I'm, you know, not one to want to keep repeating like a song that comes up, but if it does come up, I have to. It's an Eminem song, and I'm just hearing that's why they call it Window Pane. And I feel that song is about watching someone walk away or leave, or maybe it's like some part of you or something on your journey has left, and now you're left with the memory of it. It feels like there's a lament there. As you can see outside here, there is this rock formation with an ocean there. So this can be you reflecting on the depth of your feeling about something. But I do feel that this is about you honoring your own needs, because the Queen of Cups is to fall in love with yourself again. It is to learn more about yourself. It is to have compassion and empathy for yourself. It is to allow your imaginative, artistic side to flow. It is about you like falling in love with your life again. It is about romancing the everyday. It's embracing the mystical. It, you know, kind of like helps increase your awareness of your inner world at this time. The sensual side starts to come out. You know, I feel there's this energy here of you tapping into your emotions and your intuition in silence. So a lot of you could have removed yourself in order to embrace spiritual evolution, or, you know, you may be interested in things like scrying or remote viewing or tarot for yourself, for example. There may be some sort of curiosity in that direction, which is to see or to tap into your intuition. You may feel like you're not psychic, for example, but everyone has the ability to have the gift, because it is an inner compass. It is intuition that is heightened. And the more time you spend reflecting, the deeper your intuition becomes. Because we've built a very loud, noisy world with information bombardment and airplanes and cars and, just general noise. And it cancels out our connection with nature. And you may be feeling that as you start to evolve and mature. You may be feeling the calling of nature. But there's a lot of cats here, so I feel there's this calling of independence, to roam, to explore. Big old wide world out there. So some of you could be called to a certain destination right now that will really inform your path. We have that Three of Pentacles. It's in your near future. So if you are searching for your soul tribe, or you're looking to see where you feel like you belong, I feel like you're going to find your people. In fact, your people are being sent to you if you feel like it's really hard to integrate at this time. But also I feel this is about you kind of like building something. And it's starting to come together. And it was hard, but you did it all by yourself. And you should be really proud of yourself, whatever that is. And a lot of you could be conquering something at this time. But you may have had to pause or temper your pace in life in order to give back to self, to have more compassion, to seek more comfort. It says here, compassion, calm, comfort. So you're removing yourself from drama in order to have a quieter kind of lifestyle. But in that, sometimes we can mistake the quietness for boredom and feel frustrated or at odds with ourselves, and we yearn for a part of ourselves where things were a little bit more hectic or dramatic or passionate, because we mistook all of that for living, as it were, to feel alive in something, when actually there is a lot of life buzzing away in stillness. So a lot of you could be going through that as you start to mature. You're just witnessing these things. This is a very complex reading, my beautiful Sagittarians. I hope someone connects to something like this, because, this is the energy I've got coming out in this reading for you. Now it says here, teamwork, collaboration, and building together. So for some of you, this can be building deeper relationships, more authentic relationships. It can be that, you're coming together with people that you have had an affinity with for some time, but it can be that life has just changed everybody. Everybody's got different responsibilities, and it feels like you're outgrowing each other, but actually you realize that life just got in the way. And, we don't have as much time for each other as we used to, for example, when other people have, certain responsibilities there. But it can be that you can still work together and still, remain a solid friendship. But I feel on a personal level, this is about you building something in life, and whatever it is that you're building towards, I feel like you're taking a necessary step towards it. And it can be that quietness where you get calm and still and organized and ready with the truth of your next step on something. And whatever that is, it's an explorative time, but it's something that you're passionate about, and it's something that you're excited about and will hear good news on as well. Now, your advice to yourself in this moment is the Ten of Swords. And my guides just pulled me over because, oh wow, thank you so much, I'm truly grateful. The candle has gone out there, okay? So this can indicate a lot of you are mentally exhausted, but my guides said this is different, and I want you to be aware of it. The wick, I've never seen this before in any of my candles, the wick has completely gone. There's no wick left. So some of you may feel like you're at the end of the wick, as it were. I think there's a famous saying, end of your wits, or it's the end of the wick. So some of you may feel that life has been very challenging, and it kind of like has dampened your sparkle, but you will rediscover that sparkle again. I want you to be aware of that. Now, I only read with the light, okay? So I will go and get another candle to light for this reading, just so you're aware. But I want to acknowledge this Ten of Swords first, okay? Ten of Swords can indicate, bowing out of something, a very difficult or stressful situation where it's either you're going through this or a group of people are going through this, and it can be a letting go of something, but also it can be a sacrifice that you make in order to change your life. So you could be cutting something out, or a cycle is coming to an end, and it was a challenging one. But this card literally means that there's an end to all of that. There's a light literally at the end of your tunnel. But right now, it can be that you had to walk through this period where the light went out. okay, for you to rediscover that light. That's why I feel it's somehow connected, because, you know, I've been reading, but my focus is very much in the water as I'm scrying. I touch the cards, and of course you can't see my eyes, but when I pick up a card, I'm feeling the energy. I know it's the Ace of Wands. I know what that means. I know the energy I'm feeling, but I'm looking in the water for images or energy that's coming out. And, you know, I'm rarely drawn by my guides to the candle. So now that I have been, I don't know how long that's been gone out, but some of you may feel it's how you're feeling. You're exhausted. And, you know, you're wondering, is there going to be a moment where you rediscover that passion or that spark? Because that's what this card literally means. And it's in the crossing position. Where did your spark go? Where's the sparkle? Where's the magic in life? Well, my guides are pointing at my T right now, and I think I'm wearing that. Yeah, the magic is within you. And this is you coming home to self to rediscover that magic within you, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to disconnect for a moment and just go get another candle there for you. So one moment, please. Sorry about that, my beautiful Sagittarians. So as I was getting the candle, my guides were highlighting that I had to withdraw in order to find the light. And that's the point of what you've been going through at this moment in time, okay? So that came through as I was searching for a candle, fresh, new, beautiful candle there for you. So I think a lot of you may have found this process very isolating or a lonely path, but you will discover the light, as it were, that passion, that spark, okay? And literally, as I lit the candle, the match completely went out. So I can see here that a lot of you are like at capacity or feeling very drained with life right now. Things are on your mind and overwhelming to some degree. And I feel like that cycle, though, is coming to an end. So it's like the only way is up. Things will get better from here, as it were. Your next card, the Hangman, indicates that you've been put on pause on purpose. You know, a lot of you with the Hermit there and the Hangman indicates that you withdrew from something or have been slowly withdrawing from something on purpose in order to honor your own needs and maybe even quietly reflect on the situation in order to get a different perspective. I mean, this card is all about release. It says release, suspension, and sacrifice. Some of you may feel like you've been in the holding room of life, as it were. You know, life is whirring around you. You're still multitasking and doing all the things that you need to do with your responsibilities and duties, but somehow you may feel that you're like in the same place, or, you know, it almost feels, and again, it comes back to that parachute. It's like you have a goal, you're working towards something, but somehow there's this energy where you feel like you're drifting, or maybe just really reflecting. I mean, I can't imagine, I've never done like a parachute jump before, but I can only imagine that it's like super quiet up there. Maybe only the sound of the wind or the clouds as you go past, I'm not sure. But it can be that you're just like, I need to remove myself from the noise to work out what it is I need to work out right now. And the Hangman is to do that, okay? And with that Ten of Swords, it says here, collapse, defeat, and failure. So this could be that some of you have experienced the end of a relationship or a betrayal in a friendship, or in some experience, something abruptly came to an end and you're trying to work out what happened there. You're left with what's left, the bare bones of something, to really think about it. But I feel in that process, there will be analysis paralysis, because sometimes we have to move forward without the answers. We have to just know our own truth in the situation and walk forward with that, and walk tall with that as well, my guys just said. You know, I feel like you're the victor in something, though, because this card, look at that figure, they are victorious. Something challenging came to an end. So I feel a lot of you, you know, this can be a measure of success, that finally you get to the place that you want to be at, and it's done, it's over. It was hard, it was a struggle, but you got there, you did it, and it was a monumental task. So whatever you're dealing with right now, it feels like a lot. It feels like you need to take more care of yourself. It feels like you need to prioritize your needs a little bit more. But also, with the Hermit, it's nice to withdraw, but don't forget that balance is the key, because Six of Pentacles is to remain balanced and in harmony. And that Three of Pentacles indicates sometimes it's important to spend time with groups of people or activities where people are integrated. So some of you could be even noticing that your neighborhood is changing and evolving, and perhaps you're deciding to end being involved in that neighborhood or leave a place because you feel like you've outgrown it, or it just feels like you don't fit there anymore. You know, I remember many years ago when I lived in a certain area, it was like the place to be, shall we say. And I was like, this is my home. I will never leave this place. I absolutely love it. This is where I belong. And then I started to mature, as it were. And then, of course, I went and I moved from that area. Didn't really want to, but circumstances said I had to. So off I went. And then I returned to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't fit in here anymore at all. The energy's changed. The environment's changed, and at some point I thought I'll never leave. And now I can't imagine a worse place to be for me and who I am and what I like. You know, so it can be that you're evolving, you're maturing, because the Hermit is to mature, and you're just noticing things that are hitting differently, and now you're like, well, how is that? How is it? Have I changed? Has it changed? So you could be just looking at how things hit differently at this time and trying to discover what it is that brings you joy, or what it is that you want, not as a replacement, but as something that is different, that now has an affinity with you, if that makes sense, okay? A lot of you, you're making major sacrifices for success in your life or stability, especially with the Three of Pentacles there. You could have responsibilities, or you're looking at your finances. You're trying to create, you know, a financial foundation for your future. It can be that, you know, you're trying to maintain where you're at right now, or look for profitable work, or look at, you know, you pooling resources, because these are sharing cards as well. It can be that, you know, all of you are trying to make something work right now, and it's been hard. It's been a struggle. But there is some sort of breakthrough energy here that indicates the universe wants you to have more. Whether it's more financial independence, or whether it is, you know, more independence or a connection to self, that passion, that motivation, that drive returning, that mojo, that spark. But this is the hope and a fear position. We have the Queen of Swords there. Now, Queen of Swords in this position can indicate a person, of course, because we've got two queens here. So this can just represent two people. Two people who, you know, maybe used to be tight in terms of friendships, and there's a distance. Queen of Swords is very withdrawn or detached. Queen of Cups is, you know, an energy of unconditional love, of, you know, connection, of care, of sensitivity and listening and understanding, empathy, a friend, or, you know, even a partner, for example. But these can be aspects of self. And it can feel like right now you're somehow detached or on autopilot, just doing life, just doing what you got to do, doing the responsibilities, trying to let go of the past, trying to free yourself up, create structure, be really honest with yourself, be direct, and live life with precision. But in that focus, some of you may have felt that you've put your emotions to the side, or that you've been like, I mean, because there's so much changeable energy around, it could be fight or flight mode. It could be that you are consistently seeing change all over the place, and you're just trying to get navigating it. I don't want to say comfortable with it, because looking at the energy, you know, even though you're a wanderer of the zodiac, you know, you need a base, or you need somewhere where you feel is your sanctuary, your place that you call home. Okay. And I feel like there's this energy of you kind of navigating the complexities of life right now and thinking, what's it all about? What's my sense of purpose? And I feel like you are going to really be honing in on that, because a lot of you are on that path already. But it can be that it's a lonely path, or it can be that you have to be extra disciplined and sacrifice some things in order to really get to your destination. But when you get to your destination, which I feel like you will, Ten of Swords tells me you get to where you need to go. The 10 is the end of something in order to celebrate and move on to something new. And a lot of you are doing that right now, because as an Ace of Pentacles, something new is upon you. And it actually is something that has so much potential, whether it's a new neighborhood, a new way of doing things, whether it is you honoring your body in a different way. There's a lot of mindfulness energy here. So a lot of you are trying to manage stress levels at this time, or a change in your body in some way, and things will become more manageable, especially with the Queen of Swords. That's to manage things as they are in their present form. But with it in the resistance position, this can be that you may kind of process something that opens up your emotions, because the Queen of Swords is very logical, locks away those emotions. Doesn't mean that they're not feeling, it just means that they're in doing mode. But in the reverse, it can indicate that, you know, you tap into those emotions and it's you becoming aware of your inner world. You know, this card, especially if it's two people, this can be to clear up a misunderstanding with a person as well, whether it's in your family, whether it's in a soul tribe. So I feel there could be some sort of explanation, a coming together of people, because this is a gathering, a coming together. Let's discuss things. You know, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Three of Pentacles has three people there, one on a pedestal, and they are the architect of their dreams. For example, they're making things happen, and then there's two people discussing the person. So it could be that you've heard some gossip, or you may feel that people have been talking about you behind the scenes and you're not happy about it. And it can be that, you know, it got round or back to you in some way, and you're just distancing yourself from that level of gossip. And it can be that it's coming from a place where people envy your position, or they are jealous of what you're capable of, but you don't care about that. You're not here to people please. You're here to shine your light and do your thing. So, I mean, the Queen of Swords in the hope position is you hoping you are organized and structured and, you know, ready for the next steps. I mean, it can also indicate, especially with Ten of Swords there, some of you have gone through a separation or divorce. And it can be that you're navigating a new way of living. You feel like you're on your own in this. You may feel like, will you ever find a partner who aligns with you? Will you ever find love again? The answer is yes. In fact, I feel like there could be a flirtation here and also a high-level commitment. And maybe you'll have to choose between the two. So some of you, you know, there's a lot on your mind right now, and it's not just to do with things within yourself, it's things outside of yourself. Will you ever have the things that you feel like you don't have right now that you're working towards? And the answer is yes, you shall have them. You're being disciplined, you're being organized. But when you have a Queen of Swords in the resistance position, you know, this can indicate that you're dealing with a person who's gone cold, or even has been unkind or dishonest for some of you. If you've dealt with a person who's betrayed you, or, you know, perhaps, as I said, let you down, it can be that you're trying to move on without this person, but the wound is still there. You're contemplating, why did they do that? And you're going to have to get yourself some closure on that, because I feel like you're not going back to that. There is something in the future where I feel like you can heal this, but right now I feel like you're just distancing yourself from this, whatever this is. Okay, and again, not everybody's going through this, but I have to honor the energy as it pops out. Now, a lot of you with this Ace of Pentacles, I feel you're creating a foundation or structure for stability. You know, this is about all of your hard work paying off and seeing evidence of whatever it is you're investing in right now, whether it is a personal development project, whether it is you managing stress levels, you know, recalibrating cortisol levels, for example, whatever it is. It can be that you're disciplined. Maybe you're trying something new financially and you're about to launch something. It's going to pay off. Whatever it is, you're going to see evidence of it paying off here. You know, the Ace of Pentacles, it says an opportunity, prosperity, and new venture. So if some of you are worried about finances, I do see new avenues to explore regarding money. This could be like a new job that brings in more money, or it could be, you know, some sort of win. Aces of Pentacles tend to be like a little bit of a windfall there, a small win that helps you in some way save some money. For some of you, it can be a gift of an opportunity. But more than anything, it is about you flourishing and thriving and creating a foundation for you to feel secure, both in your emotions, but also in your everyday circumstances. The universe is paving the way for you to explore something new, exciting, that will flourish and thrive. And again, there's these two tigers, which is all about that independence. And of course, we have the Page of Wands, which is a Sagittarian card. And pages bring news, so it could be money news here, but it could also be like an enterprise or something that's going to make you feel secure. Even if it's an offering in a friendship, like this person's got your back, someone coming forward and saying, hey, I'm sorry I've been out of touch. I've been going through some stuff. And you may feel hurt that they didn't reach out. But this person's going to reach out and say, hey, you know what? I miss you. Or, you know, let's talk. Let me tell you why I've been distancing myself. And, you know, there could be a really honest, open conversation where clarity and truth is revealed. But this Page of Wands is all about you. This is about you reigniting that spark. It's about being curious again. It's about opening yourself up to your passions. But also, I mean, if you're looking for a long-term commitment and you're single right now, because a hermit can indicate that you're single, this is a potential for a very loyal mate to come in, someone who is a soulmate energy and is very adventurous. But I feel this is about your creative energy coming back, that motivation, that drive, and that desire for change, but also that desire for new places, new faces. And I really feel this is you coming home to self. It says exploration, excitement, and freedom. To feel free to explore. And whether that's exploring ideas or new environments or new avenues, I just feel that you've been going through a transition period and you've been somehow coming home to self. I feel a lot of the collective right now are coming home to self, authentically working out what it is you want. Because some of the things you wanted when you were younger, you may not want those things anymore. It just feels like you want something different, and you're having the courage of your convictions to go after those things now. Just going to go and get some final cards before I close your reading. The cards have to pop out for them to be yours without influence. I mean, look at that card. The end of a tough cycle is finally approaching. That's literally what this reading was about, okay? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. I mean, some of you may have even been dealing with a person who, no matter what you do, it's never enough. And you're like, you know what? I'm not here to pander to your needs. It can be that you're like, you know what? My happiness is not tied up within another person. You're here to live life and find happiness from within, and then spread that joy with your vibration. You're not here to make sure everybody is happy. So it can be that you're just re-empowering yourself in that knowledge. So let's see what it says here. It says, don't compare your life to others. Your journey is your own. So, you know, that energy didn't 100% come up in this reading, but it is an important message, of course, there. But I feel because the Gaia chimes, they stayed very stationary over this deck. I feel there's important messages in this deck for you. But this is the most important one. The end of a tough cycle is finally approaching. And that Ten of Swords indicates that light at the end of the tunnel. So whatever you've been going through here, I do see that there is hope. There is that light. And that's probably why the candle went out, because it was the whole process of that, removing yourself to rediscover the light, withdrawing in order to rediscover that passion, that spark, that hope. It says, don't stop living your life because of someone else. And that's very true, especially if you've gone through a separation. Firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there, so much love. I went through a very damaging separation before in my past, and you know, I was constantly questioning why did that happen? Why did they do that? You know, is it me? Was it them? What was the circumstances? And sometimes you don't get answers. You have to give yourself closure in the knowledge that sometimes you'll never know, and that's the hardest thing to do. But you must not stop living your life because of an experience or a person. This is your life, and you came to live it and have a full experience. It says, remember, you came here to teach others. I mean, you didn't get any teaching cards, okay? I mean, Three of Pentacles can be, I guess, to teach others. But, you know, this can indicate that you're leading by example on something. And that's you teaching people about your boundaries or, you know, how you like to be approached in life. You came with extra knowledge, that's for sure. You're an old soul with that hermit energy. So it tells me that you have information, acquired knowledge, but also natural knowledge that you came to this lifetime with, that you can impart your wisdom to other people. But most importantly, don't, almost like give all of yourself all of the time. Otherwise, you're going to be at capacity and depleted and burnt out. Ten of Swords is mental fatigue. Overthinking things, or kind of like always being very thoughtful about others and then feeling somehow left out when it comes to people thinking about you. So you may be readjusting your energy, not in a selfish way. I just feel like you are tempering your energy in order to reflect the things that you're experiencing, because Six of Pentacles can be a reflection. What you give out, you get back. It's the boomerang card, okay? So we've got, you're going to master your material reality in the future. So if you are dealing financially with some, worrying times, or you're just worried because, of course, economically things are volatile right now, the Ace of Pentacles, the universe is sending you opportunities to increase your wealth or be able to save. So you will master that. And it will come with some sort of new potential or an exploration of something, maybe even a passionate idea, a creative endeavor there that you could be launching very soon. So I feel like you're very gifted. Even if you're tired right now, it could be something that you're doing that you're passionate about and you're enthusiastic about. It's something that could make you money. You may not be aware of it right now, and you may be not doing it to make yourself money, but it's something you could tap into to monetize in some way. So perhaps you'll explore that later on as well. This kind of looks like a bit of an acorn, a space acorn, as it were. So it could be a seed, an idea of something, and it will grow exponentially, because that's what that Ace of Pentacles is. But I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates for you, my beautiful Sagittarians. I'm just going to go and get a trinket or... Interesting, I'm seeing a DNA strand in the water right now. So this can indicate some of you are looking at generational wounds or cycles of repeat. It feels a lot of you are trying to disconnect from that, and that generational cycle ends with you. That's one of the hardest tasks. Some of you may be looking at your legacy, but also looking at what you're inheriting from parents or guardians, for example. Narratives as well. Could be that you're trying to reprogram in some way. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. Thanks so much, I'm so grateful. Now I'm seeing it, the snakes entwined like a DNA strand. So this can be how you're changing your legacy, or how you're changing or shifting something at this time. This symbol connects to Kundalini energy as well. So it could be that you've had some sort of blockage. Let me see where that blockage could be. I mean, it's around the heart chakra at first is what I'm seeing. But there also is this knowingness. Crown chakra. Crown. Heart and crown, okay? There's just these two energies here. So there could have been a blockage there for some of you, and you've been working through that. Or maybe you're learning about it right now. So I'm going to leave that there with a lot of love and respect. It came in last minute. Finally, we got the scissors. Snip, you're pruning your life, cutting things out that don't align with you. Something has reached the end. But also, interestingly enough, I'm seeing someone like opening something. When someone opens like a new endeavor, they've got the ribbon. Those famous people, they snip the ribbon and they declare something open. So it could be that you are either launching something, there's a new you. You're declaring something to yourself, you're different. Or it can also be that you're literally, sorting the wheat from the chaff in your life and saying, no, I don't want this anymore. I'm cutting it out. Some of you, this could be a substance as well, because you have a Queen of Cups there. But yeah, scissors is you reframing or reshaping your world and being in control of the next steps. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates in some shape or form. May not resonate with most people out there, but I have to honor everything that came out there. So I hope it does resonate with at least someone out there. So thank you so much, my beautiful Sagittarians, and love and light.